Good evening, and welcome to another episode of The Turning Point, sponsored by U-Turn Youth Consulting. Tonight, in the middle of March, we celebrate Women History Month. I promise you, grab a glass of wine, call some friends, chill out, because we have a conversation for you tonight that you are definitely going to want to be a part of. We have selected a specific group of women that are all at. They are a whole vibe, and we want you to be a part of the conversation. So let's get started with the 2024 Black Women, Black Love. Ladies, how y'all doing? Good. Oh, y'all got to do better than that. Ladies, how y'all doing? Oh, okay. That's what I'm talking about. So what we're going to do is I'm going to give you guys an opportunity to briefly introduce yourselves, and then we're going to dive into the conversation. For those who are watching us at home, where you may be doing your own thing and got us on live, tonight is a whole conversation. It's not a panel. We ain't got all these questions. We just really want to speak to women from a position of women, right? It's one thing when everybody else wants to speak for us, and it's another thing when we get together and really tell you what we're thinking. So whether you are home, you're at work, you're driving, you're exercising, I promise you this will be a good conversation. So Ms. Diana, talk to me. What you want me to say? Tell me a little bit about you.
Diana, born and raised in Miami.
Hey.
Married for over 15 years.
Ooh.
2 boys. So yeah.
All right. Now, what do? You ain't got to tell me your employer. We don't want to go.
Officially, I'm an IO psychologist, which is just a work psychologist, but
Okay.
that's what I do.
Okay. Cool.
So yeah.
Miss Nadej, because you know I gotta say her name the Haitian way. Miss Nadej.
So very much. Thank you. At this point, I think I kind of just do that to mess with people.
Right.
My name is Nadej Tegucigalpa, and let's see. I mean, so many different things. But I think right now in this phase in life, I would like to introduce myself and identify myself as a woman of color who's looking to make sure that I pave the way for somebody else.
Yes. We're gonna talk about that. We're coming back to that.
Yeah.
Hi, Professor. I'm good.
I am Jonette Brooks George. I am a violence disruptor. That's who I am. I go into communities and help situations of violence end.
So when you say violence disruptor, tell me about that. What does that look like?
Going into homes, communities where violence is the norm, and performing, having conversations and having workshops so to cognitively retool, to change the mindset, to change their thought process about this being the normal way of life.
Awesome. All right. Ma'am.
I am Daphne Michelle. I am a mental health therapist. I oversee Broward and Palm Beach in the human trafficking department. I'm a mother of 2 beautiful kids, a boy and a girl. Married, pretty new, 3 years. It's going to be 3 years in May, but we've been together forever. But I'm excited to be here and to talk about just whatever we want to talk about and be a whole vibe.
Whole vibe. Ma'am.
Hello, ma'am. I am Makisha Murray. I am a branch manager in the financial industry, and that is what I do, but I'm always out in the community, you know, trying to promote positive women. So that's what I do.
Yes.
I am single. Okay, just so you know.
Just so
everybody
we know.
around here
is married, yes,
I'm the single one.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm the single one.
Yes.
And I'm just happy to be here. So I'm gonna give you the single version because they married y'all.
Yes, true.
So when y'all walked in here, we saw all the flowers. I got a couple of people that said, "Oh, we feel the Barbie vibe, right? I'm a Barbie girl in the Barbie world." And then in the conversation, I think this side of the room said, "What you said now?"
The soft life.
Soft life.
Yes.
This is giving us that soft life. What does that mean, right? Because I kind of want to cushion it, because for so often, Black women has always been, I got to be the strong Black woman. That strong Black woman. And whether we say it, whether we act it, it seems as though it is a persona that has been added onto us, right?
Yep.
And I'm coming to your perspective in a minute, because when you gave us a whole lecture about why your voice goes up and down, and I was like, she don't even realize how much of a conversation she was giving me. So tell me about the soft life, ma'am. And then Makisha gonna take over, because she was all in her soft life.
Right. The soft life to me is not being able to like do it all.
Okay.
Being a mother, being a wife, being a friend, being a working person, working in the population that I do work in with human trafficking and aging out of foster care, kids aging out of foster care, can be very tiresome and taxing, to say the least, right? But after leaving work, you go home, you gotta make sure the kids are ready, make sure they ate, make sure they showered, iron their clothes for school. And it's just like, I wanna come home and just like, relax and grab a glass of wine. While my husband said, baby, don't worry about it. I'll take care of this and take care of that. And I can totally be submissive. But when you have that hard life where you just gotta, and not that he doesn't help or do anything like that, but women, we just like get things done and wanna get, see things happen. And men oftentimes drag their feet, and it's like, this need to get done, this need to get done. So we everywhere. So I wanna be able to say, babe, I wanna take a vacation for a week. Don't worry about it, I got the kids, go ahead and have your fun, pick two friends here and there, and and get that help that you need. That's that soft life, to be totally submissive and be like, all right, whatever you need. You do that, baby, you have whatever you need. Right now, I'm in between all the other stuff that, I gotta,
I should have known better to put all y'all together. So what we're not gonna do is we're not gonna mess with the men today. We're not. Go ahead, Makisha. Soft life.
Soft life for me is vulnerability.
Right.
Like being in a place where I'm safe enough to let my hat down, let my guard down, and actually just be a woman. I don't want to be a boss all day. Like, hopefully if I do get into a relationship, I want to be able to play that submissive role. But also, too, it's hard to be vulnerable.
Right.
It's very difficult. Like, I just shared with you guys, like, my therapist called me a whole Negro in these
A whole Negro in these
The people at home gotta hear this. Your therapist called you a what?
A whole Negro.
In these streets.
In these streets. Right. That's what she calls me. But that's only because you have to be strong. I have to be strong for me. I have to be strong for my family. I have to be strong for those who come and look up to me. Hey, can you help me with this? For everyone around me. So until I feel like I'm in a relationship with someone where they can allow me to just lay down and be me, that's a vulnerable place. That's a soft life for me. Because my emotions matter to me more than just what you could do for me.
It's so important because as a therapist, we talk about feelings, how that make you feel and processing that, right? But sometimes for me, it's hard to process that because now I'm in my feelings, I'm emotional and I'm this and it's like, I want to be able to cry and be okay to cry and be okay to say this bothering me or this is too much for me. So I want to get to that place.
But it's crazy. The reason because we have to be the strong Black woman all the time. We've come to a place where we don't know how to turn on and off the emotions, how to put on or take off the hat. And so it's like for me, the reason why I go to therapy is because I'm relearning that. That's not healthy for me. It's not healthy for me. I have to learn to take care of me. I have to learn how to say no. And I only started recently learning this because my father passed.
We were having that conversation at the last conference.
And so until I lost something that was dear to me and I realized a lot of people weren't showing up, I had to learn how to prioritize it.
We're going to come to that. In order for me, not showing up.
In order for me to say, okay, this is worth my time, this is not, okay, I'm not doing that today because it's about me. And we changing hats and gears, like, time for that. Not anymore.
They gave me a lot. Let's come over here.
We go start from the end.
Start from the end. Go ahead, Diana. Soft life.
I always joke and I always tell Ezra when I'm exhausted, especially when I come home, I'm like, I don't want to do this no more.
I think, you know what? I think all of us say that.
Yeah, I think we all say that,
This
yes.
ain't the life that you had for me. But I don't know. I think the older my boys have gotten, do your laundry, do the dishes, unload the dishes. It's like, I could get a little help with the cooking because I just don't trust them yet. But I think we have that healthy balance. I would love a soft life where I could just drop everything, but I think I control too much where it's not done to how I want it to be done, that I'm gonna go back and do it again. So it's just like,
I might as well do it myself the first time.
yeah, so I think that's where I'm at, and I'm just learning that healthy balance because there's like, 3 September babies in the house and then 1 October. So it's just like
Exactly. Yes.
So it's just like
Don't do that to
2
us like that.
extroverts, 2 introverts. Like, so it's just like we're always clashing all the time, especially that what they say, that one, the gangster one. It's like,
The one that tests your gangster.
that's Aiden. I
love you, baby, but
Oh, that's
woo,
mine too.
that's the last one. So it's just like I would love to just be like, okay, soft life. I think for me, my soft life would be I don't want to work.
Oh.
I can deal with the the cleaning, the cooking. I can deal with that. It's just I don't want to work with these people. No.
You don't want to work with these people? No. We're going to come back to that because if we look at the way the country's moving, right, there's some real insinuations that we should be moving back into the kitchen, right? And
Back
that
like we left. We ain't never left the kitchen.
TikTok, that's a whole popular trade wife. That's a
Yes,
traditional
yes,
wife
right,
or whatever.
yeah,
And
yes.
it's gotten popular. And I've noticed that our non-melanated folks, they love it. Everybody, yes. But once when we say we about that traditional life, you get so much backlash.
Yes,
And it's like
yes,
we can
yes.
never have an easy life. I noticed that.
Yes, yes.
do that traditional.
Correct, exactly. We did. We sure did.
Like,
Exactly.
Listen, okay.
It sucks.
Y'all just gave me a whole lot. I ain't even get into the heart of the conversation yet. I ain't got to think no more. Y'all just gave me all the comments to talk about. Go ahead, ma'am.
So I really did try to think about an answer. I don't have one. I don't have an answer as to what soft life is, what it looks like. And I think,
you ain't got one, though?
you want to know the answer?
Yeah. I want y'all to answer. The people want to understand
Because
it.
money is the answer.
True.
I'm like, all right, you want to know, really? I don't want to give up anything. So for me, I have the exact version of the life I wanted. I just need some money so I can make it all work. Because I'm just like, I don't really, of course, I want everything that I want without any of the emotional baggage that comes with it, right? Like, ain't nobody trying to come home and have arguments with my husband. Ain't nobody trying to, carry, my mom's burdens. I shouldn't have said that, but I'm just saying. Like, you just, all of these roles that we play,
Yes.
right, come at a cost. And the truth is that, I think I mentioned this last year, redefining that Proverbs 31 woman, for me, is the key. Because she had money. You understand? She had money.
She had money.
The lady woke up early so she could supervise. She did not wake up early so she could slave. You
Correct,
understand?
correct,
So she got real, and that's my vision. I think about it every day. Is the life I'm working towards, and God's gonna provide. I wake up early. She went ahead and had her menu prepared. You feel me? So that the people could come and cook it. She went ahead and knew how she wanted her plants and everything happening outside,
exactly.
and then the workers,
Did
did that.
Yes,
You feel me?
exactly,
And then
exactly.
she knew what cloth and everything she wanted to go buy so she could go make the clothes, you feel me? So and then she went into town so that she could go buy exactly what she wanted. For me, that's Amazon, you feel me? So that it could come up to her. And in that way, she's able to create the life for herself and for her family that she envisions. Now, I do feel that women birth for a reason. And so whether it's a baby coming out of your body or whether it is visions that we're bringing to life, you feel me? I feel like that is something that we, generally speaking, because, not everything applies to everybody, but it's something I feel like we have a gift for, right? However, you want us to do both. And I just feel like that's the problem. So for me, soft life, just give me some money. Give me like an extra, I don't even need much, a couple, 100,000,
You don't need much.
That's not a lot. That's not a lot. That's not a lot. That's not a lot.
Listen, you want to know that? High schoolers by 12th grade are millionaires. You understand? By high school, you have these people. I feel like at 38, I don't think that should be too far away, and I don't even want that. I just want a couple 100,000. You feel me? Oh no, I said a couple. How am I gonna survive over a couple 100,000?
Exactly.
She works at the bank. She's
Yeah, she's looking at you like, that's not enough. She said, that's not enough.
You robbing Peter to
How
pay
about,
Paul.
how about we try it first? Let me try
We
try her
got to
first
start.
100,000
Let me
and
come
then
back and I'm gonna
get
let you
another.
know. I'm gonna let you know.
Exactly.
flip it. She gonna
Oh, okay. Ma'am.
Soft life for me is being able to move on my schedule, my time. So for me, I'm in my soft life.
Okay.
My kids are all grown. Hubby still works. I'm running my organization, not working for anyone. I have investments that provide quarterly income, and I stretch my money. My husband likes to say I have elastic oil. Exactly. So my money's stretched, right? So yeah, that's for me, that's where I am now. And I had to work hard to get there. It didn't happen overnight. It took work. It took working 3-4 jobs straight and no sleep for 7-8 months. Getting up, taking the kids to school, and then making sure they're at the bus stop, taking a quick shower, getting on the road, heading down to Miami from Broward, finishing work, coming back up, working at the school music studio while they take classes, then take them home, quick dinner, make sure homework's done, take a 2-hour nap, drive to Loxahatchee, work for 7 hours overnight, taking care of an old lady, save my money, get up in the morning, get back down at 7 o'clock, get them up, keep, just rotating that cycle for 7-8 months. So I put in my work. I put in my work.
So
now I can have my soft life.
But that soft life came
At a price.
at a price.
Yes, it did.
Because last year, you were not here because you were in the hospital.
Exactly.
Paying the price
Correct.
for that 7 to 8 months.
Yeah. Well, but that was 2 years prior to that. But so after that 7 to 8 month period, there was a period of quiet sickness that turned into a mild stroke that January.
Which is why she was in here
That's
last year.
No, that wasn't why I was here last year.
There was more.
There was more.
Wait, there
It was
was
a mild The mild
She was living a hard life.
Yes, exactly.
Soft,
Living
forget
that,
the soft
exactly. Well, and I'm gonna tell you how I got to the soft life, and I'm glad you brought back up last year. January 2022, I had a mild stroke, out for 6 to 8 weeks, discovered underlying health issues, changed my lifestyle, and decided to slow down and do what was important, not do everything, and say no more.
I done heard 2 or 3 people say that, so we're going to talk about that next.
And process, reorganize my priorities. My priorities were faith, family, and then everything after that. And even if you're family, if I see that you're toxic and you're draining,
Talk about that.
you're cut off. Exactly. So I started switching, and that's 2022. Last year, 2023, March, sick. Don't know why. Woke up one morning, body aching. It got worse. Got to the hospital, blood pressure, 50/20 or something to that effect, something crazy. And they were like, you're the Walking Dead. Plugged me up after 20 sticks, got me in the IV, run me in the MRI, came out of the MRI. We were rolling me into another room. I coded.
Wow.
28 minutes under.
Wow. See?
So when I came back, it was a whole different world.
God was like, he had to sit you down.
Oh, he did. But he did.
Sit you down.
He did.
28 minutes.
He
And I
did.
think that's the
my
thing
God.
where it's like
He
I
did.
hear a lot of times, because a lot of Christians follow Dave Ramsey, and then he's always like, work 2-3 jobs to pay off debt, do the, and I'm like, I can't. Me and Ezra, like, we need to set ourselves that we are good for longevity for our boys, because my mom had a stroke last year, 2 strokes. Sunday she had 1 stroke, Monday morning she had another stroke, and it was just like, you let stress get you. You let stuff that doesn't matter, and it's like I can't. And I think that's why it's just like it's like a catch-22 where it's just like the American way: work. You need this, you need that, you need this, you need that.
Not living.
Correct.
Not living.
Exactly, and that's the
Exactly.
thing. I never want to get to that point. Yes, I would love to make a whole bunch of money, but at what cost?
But right,
Exactly.
and then my question is, when you make all this money, besides passing it down to your kids, what do you do with it after you're gone?
Nothing.
What do
Nothing.
do
See,
with
you
it
said after
you're
I'm gone.
Exactly.
Let's put that money right
But
now.
that's wisdom. That means
Yeah.
you
Get
get
it,
it,
you
you're gonna
use it
now.
now.
I mean, even in my industry, I've seen Caucasian people come in, older Caucasian, because I worked in Boca. And so most of my clients, probably average age 80-something years old. One lady came in and said, never have kids. I was like, okay, don't ever. All they want to do is take your money and kill you. And I'm like, my goodness, man. I'm so sorry to hear that.
Right.
But I mean, at the end of the day, I think it's important. Like, so for me, I'm like, man, I do want a spouse. I want a 2 household income, but I'm living okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, clearly, a
everything's
couple
not-
$100,000 ain't nothing for you.
Exactly.
It's not that. It's because I see that basis. It's not saying I have it. I'm just saying I see it on a day to day, and honestly, it's not enough to survive now. It's not enough. You can't buy any. You can't even buy a home for $100,000 anymore.
That's true.
You need at least $600,000 to buy a decent home for a family of 4.
Yes.
You know, after that, think about what the mortgage is going to be on that house, $5 to $6 grand.
So now you're working.
So now you're
for this
working
again.
Exactly.
Right.
So just to
it's
do
a
that.
cycle. So
Exactly.
it's a cycle. So when do we take a stand on what it is? Because God never said that for us. God
Nope.
never had that intention for us.
Surely
Facts.
did.
Nope.
He
Nope.
never had that intention for us. He said to be fruitful and multiply. Cast all your cares upon me.
Me.
and
That's
I will
right.
now.
That's
Come
right.
on
That's
now.
right. That's right. That's right. Amen.
I mean, at the end of the day, I think we're doing it to ourselves.
Yes.
You know,
I
and
can
until
attest
you
to that.
experience loss of life, like, it's going to cost you your life.
Yeah, and no, I would also say cast your cares. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
just to go off of that, like we take on the responsibility, or we take on the role of God. We take on the role of not fully trusting in Him, like we say it, but we don't really do it. It's just like, okay, God, I trust you, but
I need to have my hands
I
in it.
need my hands in it because my mortgage next month and
I don't see
my
it yet.
account looking this. So where is that faith? Where is that trust
Yes.
putting in God? And again, people may say, hallelujah, don't pray the bills, or prayer don't pray, but
It does,
it
actually.
It does. It does.
So you know what I'm
That's
saying?
the
But-
life I'm living
but
now.
that's
It does.
the faith and that's the mindset that
It
we
does.
have. So when we overwork ourselves, it's like we'll say, God, I want you here, but
I'm honoring Him.
I'll put you behind me until things
I'ma
get
take the
rough.
lead.
I'ma
And then
take
I'll
the
call you
lead
back.
and Take behind,
Yeah.
but really, we should put them, you know, before.
Exactly.
So, many of us here are women of faith, right? And I also want us to always be mindful that when we're speaking, there's a larger audience, right? So, when the guys aired theirs, I think now they must be up, maybe 1,700 people have seen theirs, right? And as I was sitting in the room, and it's funny because theirs went very similar. It became a conversation around faith. You know, faith.
Because you get us in the room together.
I know, right? So my question is, what's the message that we get to a non-believer, right? Or someone who's been in the church who feels like, what y'all telling me right now, when I was there, it didn't work for me. I done prayed, it ain't happened for me. I done lost, I done hurt, So I know it's easy for us to turn to what we know.
Yeah.
Because people sitting in this room, I think I can freely say we all have similar faith, right? And it didn't happen, it's not like we were chosen for that.
Correct.
But I also want, especially in these hard times when so much is polarizing us, and one of said things that's polarizing us is religion.
Religion, yes.
Right?
Yes.
So I want to be mindful that even when we're speaking, I think you guys are 100%.
I
on
hate
point.
religion. I just wanted to get that out there. Right? But I am a Christian and a woman of God.
Yeah, it's correct. It's a
right.
different thing. Yeah, that's what I wanted to
Right.
say.
And
It's
the
a different
thing
thing.
is,
Yes,
You know, the religion is more of the tradition and the,
correct.
we ain't even gonna start on that.
Because I was
But
about
we
say
may
that's
have
what's
to.
driving our
That's the
conversation.
problem.
That was
We
the
have
truth
to.
she said.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you asking us what you want us to say.
Yeah.
The truth is, I believe that the lived experiences a
Ex-
lot, like they bring us together,
Yes,
right? So
yes.
regardless of whether or not you're a churchgoer, Christian, non-believer, or whatever sector you fall into, the truth is that so many of the similarities exist regardless of where you are. Some of the same victimizers exist no matter where you
Correct,
are.
correct.
Some of the same challenges, misconceptions, stereotypes exist regardless of where you are. For me, the essential is really understanding who you are.
Exactly.
Right there.
Exactly.
So, and I love that you said that, right? The who you are.
Yeah.
So if I were to ask each of you right now to give me 3 things that define who you are, because I find that we can tell everybody else who they are. Right. But the minute somebody asks us, who are we? And we all go into, oh, hold up now, let me think about that. Let me figure that out. Because so often we lose us giving to everybody else.
Yes, yeah.
Right.
And that's why I said I would come back to the conversation about the saying no, right? Because one of the hardest thing I find for women, we're always that provider. It's the hardest thing for us to formulate our mouths just to say no. Like it's
goodness.
two
Yes,
letters.
yes, exactly.
You
Right?
always want to nurture everybody.
Exactly.
Yes,
But
yes,
in the
yes.
process,
I ain't got that problem.
you know
I ain't
what?
got that problem. I'm just, please.
It's so funny. I don't have that problem. No. But, and I'm going to come to you why you don't have that problem, right? Because I think a lot of times, whether it's at work, it's easier for us to say no to certain things, even when we don't have that problem. Because we're asked to do things that we know doggone well don't align
Exactly.
with who we are,
Yeah.
what we believe in,
Correct.
and where we want to go.
Yeah.
But oftentimes we are torn between some decisions like that longevity for my child. Right? I don't want to work, but I can't say no to the job either.
Correct.
told him that
Correct.
today.
Correct. Correct.
For you. I don't want to go to this job. Do you see what I go through? Exactly. Yes, mommy. Yes, mommy.
So I guess my question is, and I'm hoping that you all can answer this question for me. If you had to pick 3 things that identify who you are, and the reason I'm asking is because the women that are watching us, the men that are watching us, whatever age category, whatever, I think it's important for us to begin to define us. We need to control our narrative as opposed to letting people define us. So, Miss Ma'am, I could say no. Go ahead.
Just 3 though? That's them? Okay, bye.
Wait, but before that, I want you to tell me why it's so easy for you to say no.
Well, lived experiences. Very concerned about my mother. I talk about this all the time. We talk about glaucoma being the only sickness that runs in my family. I don't believe that that's true. I believe that we have a heart problem that runs in our family. And I believe that heart problem comes from the fact that we always want to be the provider, right? And that we take on everybody's problems and then we resent people for it, okay? So even though, again, it's like this undiagnosed thing, my aunt passed away, heart problems. My mother right now, even though she's, well, I don't know, I do. Heart problems. My cousin in Boston, heart problems. My other cousin, a female cousin, also just had a stroke. Like, there's no reason for this. You understand? So I really feel like this is a thing that we have in our family. So it's very, very important to me. Second, I did make the decision, like, I could die at any given time. And I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go whenever the Lord takes me. I just ask him, don't make it painful. You feel me? But for that reason, I don't owe nobody nothing. That's just how I feel. I feel like I owe, well, that's not true. I owe my mother. I feel like I owe my mother self-sufficiency. She did her job so that she could see me be okay, and I owe her that. And that's what I want to give her. I want you to see me be okay. And that means saying no to you. It means saying no to them. It means saying no to my husband. Everybody gonna get it. And that's the other thing too. One of my problems this year, actually, everybody gonna get it.
Everybody can get it. That's right. That's right.
She like Oprah. You get it no.
You get it no. You get it no.
Correct. My problem is I think I have swung too far on the other side of the pendulum, and the problem is that I like it. I like it. I like it over here because, for real, you want to talk about lived experiences? First of all, identity, child of God, right? But recently, again, eye-opening moment, right? Because for a lot of people in different circles, I am like the little petit pouchon that's also that happened to be a girl, right? Very well loved, very well accepted. I get away with stuff certain people don't necessarily get away with, right? And recently, I had a very eye-opening experience because in 2024, a group of men decided to corner me into a room and force me to do something. That wasn't sex, but pretty much for me, they used their power, they used their position, and they used the time of day. It was to make me make a decision that I told them vehemently I wasn't ready to make. That was crazy to me in 2024. And you know what was even crazier? As we're talking about saying no, I didn't have a problem saying no. But when I told my mom and I told my husband about the experience, you know what they asked me? Why didn't you just get up and go? And I don't know. Why didn't I just get up and leave the room? I don't know. And I'm just like, again, as we're talking to other women out there, and it's again why I say that's my second identity, I'm whoever I want to be whenever I want to be that person.
That's right.
Okay?
That's right.
So if at the time you're saying no and that's what your conviction is, you get up and you walk out. You do that. And if you need to come back the next day, because I always say this, there are very few things that are such an emergency that you have to give an answer right now, that you have to make a decision right now. And if you are not comfortable making a decision, you
don't do it.
And nobody's gonna make you make it.
That's it.
That's right.
And that's just
That's
where
right.
I'm at. So again, no, I ain't got no problem with you, baby. Get out my house. I ain't got no problem with that either. You don't live here. You don't pay no bills
Yes.
here.
Yes.
You can go. All of y'all could go. And they do actually. Well, don't watch. I hope she's not watching that because she got kicked out too.
Exactly.
I'm telling you. But I'm
Like,
just
delete
saying.
that part. Delete that part.
They got kicked out.
But yeah.
My peace is necessary.
Correct.
Yeah.
And it's priority.
Say no.
Yeah, I mean, I could say no depending on what it is. When it comes to, I could say no to my family too. It really depends on the situation or how I decide to handle it and where I'm at.
Let me stop you right there. You said a powerful thing, saying no to family. I find that as women, black women particularly, our families don't take our no's serious.
Facts.
They don't take our no's serious.
It's true.
Because, oh, she'll be back.
Right.
Right, she feeling something right now. Oh, she don't feel good. No, she'll be okay.
Nah, they know I'm not calling
She
them
going
back.
through something.
Nah, not Makisha. They know me. My word is my word. So you ask me who I'm, integrity. I'm always a woman of my word. I'll never back from that. That's a part of who I am. So if I say no and I say, hey, listen, this is not happening, it's not happening. And guess what I'm gonna do? All right, I'll talk to you later. Have a wonderful day. Bye. Later. And I won't
she
answer
so
the phone
nice
again.
about it?
I am. It's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Right, right.
So I have to make sure that my point gets across. I'm not doing what? No. Especially depending on where I'm at. If I have like high stress happening at work, I don't want to be bothered with what your stress is that you're adding on to me right now. I don't got any anxiety issues. I'm already taking care of what I need to. So I'm supposed to add your additional problems. To me, if you were close to me and you understood that I was going through stuff, then you would take time out and say, you know what, Makisha's going through something.
Right.
I'm going to let her go through. If I'm saying no to someone, there's a reason. And if you knew me well enough, then you would know. But that's a small circle of people that I would say yes to. I have a handful of girlfriends that I'll probably say yes to a couple of my close girlfriends than I would family.
So I'm gonna go somewhere. You utilized the word vulnerable earlier. And at our day 2 conference in October, the 2023 conference, you talked about losing your dad and people not showing up. And you referenced it, and I promised I was gonna come back to it. I think one of the greatest hurt that Black women have is that, how you not gonna show up for me when I was there for you?
We're not for you,
Like,
but
what
you
you
know.
mean you not showing up, right? And we have to look. Diana have like, I'm sorry, you not gonna do what? Huh? Yeah. Right. Talk about that hurt and talk about what that looks like.
So for me, I'm the person, when you are hurting, when you are broken, no matter what time of the day it is, I feel like it's my God-given gift to make sure that I am available to you, to speak to you, to say whatever it is that I believe that God is saying to me or put on my heart. That is just, I believe, my third thing, I'm love. So I've been created for love on purpose because that's who God has created me to be. And so that's the reason why it's difficult for me to be vulnerable as well, because we can't just share love with everybody in that way.
Right.
So when I know that I show up 100% for those people in my life and at the time of me even caring. So it's different with someone. To me, it's not different, but it depends on how you deal with grief. When you're taking care of someone up until the day that they have passed and they see the struggle and the journey that you have gone through to care for them, and for you not to show up for me in that instance, yeah, that was a quick, all right,
Got it.
cut it off. Right. It's done now. It was nice. I served my purpose in your life. You served mine. God bless you. May the Lord watch between me and thee. Like it's around.
Between me and thee.
Because it's hurtful. When you pour out your whole heart to people, especially those that you love and you care for and you consider them to be a part of your intimate circle, and they don't show up for you in the one time. Because I don't ask anyone for anything. That I have that problem, and probably most of us as Black women, we could do it all. I mean, now, afterwards, I had to learn, okay, yeah, I do need help with this. Can you come through? But for me not to ask you for anything and just need your support and your love that day, that's it. And it wasn't like it was a funeral service. Like, my father didn't believe in that. So we actually kept cooked food, dominoes, there's drinks there, and there's music. It's a get-together, a celebration of life. Like, it wasn't something where I can understand some people can't go to a church or they are funeral or this. It wasn't even that. We was celebrating my dad the way that he wanted to be celebrated, a good time. And when that's how we, in our Caribbean community, that's how we celebrate each other. You know, we come together as a family on Sundays. It's like soul food at the house. Food, you're eating, you're playing games, whatever, however you celebrate, but that's important to me. And that's how my family spread love. So when you don't show up for my family in that instance, that's it.
So over here, I saw quite a bit of head nods, right? When we talked about people not showing up. So Diana, because your face was saying everything I was thinking, girl. Your face, that's the other thing with Black women now. Our face gonna tell you everything we thinking and feeling and then some. And even the things we ain't ready to tell you yet. So tell me about folks not showing up.
Okay, so first let me start off with the 3 things. I would identify as a child of God. I'm a questioner by nature. So anybody who knows me, you tell me A, I will ask you B to Z, because I don't want to go to you again to understand why. So, and I've gotten in trouble for that in the past, especially in the workplace. They don't like it. They think that I am just trying to boss up, and I'm like, no, I just find it a waste of my time for you to give me something
Right.
Give me
not
peace
have
be
and give me
Right.
peace and peace and peace. Give me the complete circle. I don't need a piece of pie.
Correct.
Exactly. You said
September.
September. September. And I think the third one for me is I'm honest. So I've had like a steady group of friends that I've had, and all of them will say, I've had to learn how to tone it down and not be so blunt.
Soft skills, that's what they call it.
Soft skills.
I don't have it, but that's what my boss said.
Oh, that's what it's called. Okay.
comes the soft skills.
So I've had to learn how to not say it as rude, but anybody who knows me, I have an issue, I will tell you, you offended me in this way. Like, how can we better it? If it doesn't work out, that's fine. I know I did my part. Anybody, when I say I die, everybody will say, Diana would have a conversation with you and say A to Z. Yep. So, and I think for me, going back to what you said, not showing up, I've had to learn, especially with my mom having a stroke, I've had to learn that how I view things and how other people view things is totally different. And how my sister, I always say that, I make jokes, she's the physical touch one. So she'll come and she'll hug me like 20 billion times, and I'm just like,
You're dying.
I'm like cringing.
Like that.
So I've learned that when my mom was hospitalized, I was the one asking all the questions. That's how I showed my love. Like, okay, and then people would be like, dang, how did you know to ask the doctor? Because we were dealing with neuro, then we were dealing with the cardiologist, MRI. Like, it was just so much. And I think when people don't show up, like for me, my thing is not coming into a space and not knowing your role.
Ooh.
That's good.
And I think that's what it is, like boundaries. And I think as people of color, we need to learn boundaries. Like something shouldn't be said, something shouldn't be done. It's just, and I think that's when people are already in a sensitive state where they don't know what's going on, they not familiar with the terms. Silence is key, and just take a step back. Do you need anything? Like even show, like, can I help you guys pay for the parking? Because, you know, going to the hospital, you have to pay every single day. So we were literally there or whatever every single day. Can I cook y'all something? We were in the middle of moving or whatever. No one was like, po job. Ezra was struggling with them boys over the summer trying to figure out breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Can I make you guys something? And I think that's for me. It's just like, people just don't know how to just take a step back, observe, and realize maybe I'm not wanted right now. Maybe I just shut up. It's not personal.
I think I was telling Shirley this morning, it's so funny because I was like, people need to know when to start and when to end.
Yeah.
When to know I'm going to pass this baton.
And that's a gift.
And
And
that's
not
it. And it's a
everybody has
gift.
that
And
gift.
just understanding, like, I'm here now, and I don't have to be here for the entire process. And when you have that mindset, sometimes people feel like, if I'm there for Markeisha, I'm here for, that you're going to get some big reward and stuff. Shirley know that I gave her this bottle of water. And that may last. That may make her feel like, wow, I didn't have to tell her I was thirsty, but she gave me the bottle of water. You know what I'm saying? And that's how people, that's how you'll know people, like, that's how people show up for people. Knowing when to show up, knowing when to back up, knowing when to talk, knowing when not to talk. I don't care how long I know you.
And I think that's what it was for us. Like even a prayer. Hey, how's your mom doing? Like it was like we were getting it from friends, and it was just like, okay, where's everybody at? Like, and I think that's what hurt the most. That the people who should have cared didn't.
And I want to be the devil's advocate.
was
Do you
gossiping.
think?
I'm just telling you what I live.
But you think sometimes, I'm gonna be the devil advocate. Do you think sometimes people intentionally do things? Sometimes
As
people
far as
don't
what?
know how to extend a word or extend how you doing. Oh, you
Not
just know they do.
that's not what it, because even for me, like what you said, the soft skills, even me, I can be blunt, but I be like, what do you need from me? Hey, what's going on? Hey, can I cash app you? Hey, do you need this? Hey,
But those are like the things that you can hear and see. But is it possible that even if they didn't call you or send a text, that they might have been praying for you?
That's possible.
But I'll never know. That's I think.
I think the point is,
I'm just being devil advocate because sometimes people don't know how to. You see how you inquisitive, you ask the questions. Some people may not know to do those things or to ask those things. Some people may not know to say, Shirley, your hair, you know, to fix this or to do whatever, or Shirley, or to critique certain things.
But I think that's like the 5 love languages where everybody plays a role.
Not everybody know it, but not everybody
Everybody
know it, though.
doesn't know it, but no, that's why I think everybody has to know their character traits, your personality traits,
They don't
your,
know.
your,
They don't know.
you, and a lot of people don't, and even emotional
And I think-
intelligence.
but wait, so y'all are forgetting my people who
Oh,
are watching,
okay.
right? Because y'all talking about, remember, I'm always saying we talk up here. Because
Right.
we're in these spaces,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So when we're talking about the 5 love languages, the personality traits, your character trait, I got people on the other end that's like, huh, hold on, wait,
Not
wait,
what you're talking
stop.
about.
What does that mean?
Take
Where
the
do I
free
find it?
quiz online, okay?
You can take it, yeah.
That's so sedity. Look at you.
5 love
5
languages,
love
you could
languages,
take
you
it
could
on,
just,
yeah.
You could just Google it.
Yeah.
5 love
That's it.
languages. For some people, it's service. For other people,
It's
it's
gifts.
Words of
gifts.
affirmation, it's
Words of
gifts, it's
affirmation.
physical stuff,
So
yeah.
I always
Quality
wanna make
time.
Quality
sure-
time.
Right,
Yes,
quality
quality
time.
time.
I
That's
just always
yours?
want to make sure that when we're speaking,
Right.
we don't lose the people.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
and I
Yes,
want to
yes.
push back on this too. So one of the things that you said last year that resonated with me is speaking from a place of privilege, right?
Oh, yeah, we
So
agree.
that struck me, like, and I say it all the time now to everybody I talk to, simply because it's true. And I think
Define
it's,
that for me. Speaking from a
I
place
got
of
you.
privilege. Yeah.
I'm coming.
Help me,
I'm coming.
'cause,
I'm
you
coming.
know.
What I realized is, and again, I had this conversation this week, is we have to remember where we came from. Or, let me not say we, I have to remember where I came from.
Right.
Because I mean, I always say this, I just recently coined a term, it may catch on, it might not. I have the ragamuffin syndrome. The
Ragamuffin?
ragamuffin syndrome. It's like no matter how far I've come, like I never forget. Like I said, I'm born and raised in Miami, but I felt like, again, I was born in Alapata, went to Gratney, eventually moved, to a better place, North Miami, but not really, right? Again, just having this conversation with my husband, got into fights all the time, was suspended all the time, got expelled all the time, got
Oh,
picked
you
on all the
about
time.
that.
You about that, like that.
We're principal with 5. We're principal with 5.
So like again, so when we talk about just again, go Google it. Somebody else, somebody on that thing just said "F you." You feel me? What are we really talking about right here? You feel me? And so I feel like it's important to just understand that. I didn't know nothing about that. I knew nothing about emotional intelligence. I knew nothing, and not just that I didn't know it, I didn't care, right? Like so, coming
That's
from a
good.
place where again. And it's taken a long time to get here, but father's not in the home, cheated on my mom, raised with his stepdad, pretty abusive situation growing up. Again, being in a place where I'm Haitian, but I'm not Haitian enough. I'm black, but I'm not black enough.
Right.
Right.
Hyphenated.
Right. So you're picked on by this group. You're picked on for being poor. You're picked on for being too bright. I got picked on for my gums being purple. You feel me? So I just felt like survival was probably the priority of the day,
Right.
every
All
single
day,
day,
all day.
right?
All the time.
And it took, I want to say, just as long to undo all of the damage and the mess and all of that in order to get to this point. So for one, just saying that piece about speaking from a place of privilege is that. Speaking from a place where we had the tools, the resources, the friends, the help, all of that to
The
get us
system.
to a better place, right?
But I don't feel like I did though. You see
Oh,
what
I
I'm
don't
saying?
know if you did. I was just saying
Right.
like,
I mean, I feel like you have to want to be better. So everyone doesn't have the tools, but who do you want to become?
Right.
You find the tools. So I'm gonna disagree with you a little bit because the tools were never given to me.
This
You
is my
see?
thing though, right? So you have, and this is just what comes to my mind.
Right.
You have the son, right, who's in the home trying to provide for his mom because he sees his mom either hoeing or working 2-3 jobs or whatever to provide, right? And he says, I want to do better. I want to be better. You know what that version of that looks like for him? Any variety of things. But he wants to be better. And he's about to go out there and find out what that looked like. Is it the right thing? Probably not. You feel me? Could it be the right thing? Probably yes. But still then, there's a trajectory. Still then, there's systems. Still then.
That's an
I
exposure, right?
understand.
What is
But
he
if he's
exposed
doing
to
the
and
wrong
accessing?
thing, just make enough money so you can flip that thing and do it.
I ain't mad at you.
I'm not mad at you. I mean, to be honest, there's people that's living that life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
at the end of the day, as long as you're trying to become better than what your current circumstances, to me, that's a one up.
So I love where the conversation has gone because y'all led me to, and you about to answer a question for me. That led, see, y'all know I give warnings. when
Yeah. Mentally
At least
prepared.
you're
Mentally
nice.
prepared that I'm
Nice.
coming. Anyone who knows U-Turn and the work of U-Turn, and you all, the two of you in your conversation, like, oh, well, look at them, just taking me where I need to go. You know that our ultimate mission and goal in whatever we do is to interrupt the school to prison pipeline. and ultimately mitigate the gun violence in our communities, community gun violence. Now, there are people who deal with the mass shooting, and we respect that, but then I got community gun violence every day, right? In communities that are not often paid attention to. They don't get the same attention when 3 or 4 people are shot. And we're not gonna go into all the various reasons why, because we understand. But you said something that was very, very important, and you said something that was important, right? So you got a young man who's trying to figure it out, and the trajectory based on whatever lived experience he has can be detrimental.
For sure.
And then your perspective was a good one, because you're right. You got people that's living out here just trying to flip it to make the money and seeing it as a come up.
Right.
So my question to us, and I think all of us sitting in this room some way, somehow, actively, intentionally, and deliberately work to save lives, particularly those of young people.
Yes.
In whatever capacity, whether we get paid for it or not, right? So I want to center the conversation back around, what does showing up look like for that kid? Because I wanted us to have this whole conversation about when someone doesn't show up for us, how we feel. That hurt, we feel. So when you take a young man or a young woman that's out here trying to figure it out, the obstacles have been against them. The odds are piled up against them, and I know it's easy for us to say, well, damn it, you make lemonade with the lemon that you've been given, right? And I think that is the way that I use that comment, right? It's our privilege, right? A lot of times we forget that when I love to hear people say to me, well, we should be able to pull them up by the bootstraps.
Oh, no.
What bootstraps? What if we ain't got no shoes? Right? So it is that understanding, again, that lived experiences and backstories matter. And in that case, because we're soon to wrap up, they're giving me all the signs. As much as I love the conversation, I also want to shepherd us back into the reason we address Black women, Black love, is because we have a lot of homes that are being led by single moms. We have a lot of 2-parent households that are still being led by single moms. We got to call it for what it is, right? We got bodies that don't necessarily mean that both parents or both bodies are pouring into these kids. And all you need is 2 minutes with a kid to tell you, yeah, both my parents are there, but it's as if I only got one parent, right? Very, very clear. So my question to you, Madam Disruptor, Madam going into the streets, and all of y'all gonna get this question, what is it? Because we know how it feels when someone doesn't show up for us in our loss, in our hurt, in our relationships, in our families, in our friendship. How do we show up for kids, one, as a community, right? What does that look like?
So I didn't get to do my 3 words.
Go ahead, your 3 words. They serious about these 3 words.
Well, because
That's
what
no,
you're gonna say.
and I think it's good because you guys have all addressed it with your
right,
answers. I think y'all have done an amazing job with that.
So for me, first off, child of God. Second off, I'm a scaffolder.
Oh.
And third,
Oh,
You're an
can't just
educator,
say
aren't
that
you?
and just-
I'm gonna come back to it.
Okay.
And third, no, but I know I'm being cognizant of the audience.
Yes, yes.
And third, I'm 100%. I keep it 100% all the time. Anybody that knows me knows I'm the one. Just like you were saying, they will call me. They will come. Okay, come to my. Okay, no, tell me what I did wrong, because I know you can just cut and dry and tell me what it is. Because I don't have a reason to be inauthentic. That's just not who I am. Scaffolder. I support everybody until you show me that I shouldn't support you. I have no problem pausing. If you're doing something good, if you're doing something meaningful, I will make time in my calendar for you always. But the minute I ask you to reciprocate in that sense, and it doesn't happen, I'm done. I don't have time to run back. Not after last year. I don't, like, and before that I had even less patience. But I probably would give you maybe two more chances. Now it's not an option. You mess up the one time and there's no valid reason, no. When going into the communities,
So true.
that's where it is.
That's good. She's right.
When I go into the communities and
No, I have it.
and working with the families, I have to support these kids because they don't always have a support system. I have to be their scaffold, and I tell them, and I understand. Listen, being your support system, it's shaky, right? I'm not gonna always be able to carry the weight that you're gonna bring, so you're gonna have to be able to hold yourself up sometimes. I can give you some support, but you also have to be holding on. I can't, and if we go back to the faith thing real quick, people love to come to me because I'm an intercessor. They like to come to me, hey, can you pray for me?
Yes.
No, we can pray together.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm not going to take on your burdens. Right? And people will see that you're a support system and want to take advantage of it, but we have to be wise.
Wow. Go ahead, because I'm coming back on this side. Ooh,
Sorry, yeah.
Y'all
So-
give me a lot. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm trying to organize my thoughts.
We got about
So,
15 minutes, y'all.
so one, so I believe that I owe everyone something according to my cup. So somebody recently said self-care is filling up the cup you pour from, and I loved it, right? But so, and I say that to say, like, you don't have strikes with me, right? Because I don't have strikes with God. Like, it doesn't matter how many times I go. However, I have to pour according to my cup, which means that I owe my husband, I owe my family, I owe my clients, I owe myself, right? And if I got more, you got it too. And I say this from a very authentic place because, again, and I mentioned this before, but I'll mention this now to go into the other piece I was going to say. Like, I recently, you know, just had somebody come straight at me for no reason. I didn't do anything to you, but only to find out, like, clearly he's held grievances over a period of years. I don't pay attention to you like that, bro. I ain't got, you feel me? I ain't got nothing to do. Now, he went far. Like, he went very, very far. Like, he was trying to get me arrested. Far. You understand? But then this week, I was just like, bro, like, I love you in as much as I can love you. You feel me? Because whatever you're going through, and I believe that song, there's a song that says, I speak the name of Jesus over you, or something like that. I was just like, yeah, you need some healing. You hear me? Like, you are not well. I love it when God said that. But yeah, so that's for me, I'll pour from that cup because I got it now. You feel me? I needed a moment for me to have that. Now, what does showing up look like, right? It looks like showing up for the child in him who never healed, right? So yeah, he could be a 45, 50-year-old man, but clearly you're a child who never healed. And I need to show up for you. And I need to let you know, I don't really care what you think I did to you. God still loves you. That's one. The second thing is I'm going to go ahead and tender my resignation because clearly my space isn't here because somebody thought it was important to support you in your foolishness. Understand? So I'm going to go ahead and tender my resignation so I can make more time to create a monthly group at my house where the youth that I wanted to speak to and the young ladies that I want to pour into, I can do it on my own terms. So you can come to my house and we're going to have the hard conversations like I did with a young lady yesterday who tells me that she's very concerned that she's about to be homeless in the next month because this is the first time she's seen her mother cry in silence. And that was crazy to me because she's like, yo, my mom be capping on a regular basis. Like, that's what she said. So she's like, when she cry out loud and she be dramatic, like, I don't listen to her no more because, like, she takes my money, you know, she takes advantage of us, she does whatever. But she's like, this week she cried in silence. I had to catch her crying, and I'm concerned I'm going to be homeless. And I had to tell that young lady, as much as you're concerned about all of them being homeless, you're only 19 years old, and the best thing you can do for your family is continue school. And I know it's going to be really, really hard after you've given, because she works, but all her money go to her family. And she's supposed to be using that money to save up so she could transfer to FIU. So I'm telling her, like, you got to start doing that because the best thing you can do for your family is not be homeless with them. You feel me? Like, go to school, be that nurse that you're trying to be, and the rent that they're struggling to pay, you can pay it and have a roof to put over their heads until they can transition. But if you decide to drop out of school so that you can help with these bills and be a parent to children you ain't birthed, because they can't take on their responsibility, that's not going to work for you. So for me, that's showing up because I had to say that to her, and I don't think that, and even in my mind, like, I'm thinking, and again, I'm Haitian, so I'm constantly thinking, I know her parents probably would have cussed me out if they heard me say what I said, because they're just like, there's a Haitian saying that says, boui fait petit pour dol poser. And this idea of, like, we gave birth to children so that we can, you know, we can rest, and you're our retirement plan. And it's just like, yo, it don't work that way. And so for me, showing up, because these are conversations I'm having with children on a regular basis. And when I say children, 16, 17, 18-year-olds, you know, who are just going through way too much. But if somebody's not there to provide guidance, to just let them speak, to let them cry, but then remind them, okay, you feel me? And I think that maybe that strong black woman piece, you can cry. But at the end of the day, get it together because you need a solution, you feel me? So that you're not here again next week or next month or wherever it is. And for me, that's what it looks like to show up.
What does it mean to show up? Because you work with a very specialized, with two very specialized populations who are often offended, right? When things happen because they process different based on their lived experience. And both of them require for somebody or some people or systems that have failed them to actually stand in the gap. So what does it look like to show up?
My three things, just to go on with the trend.
I'm
a woman of faith. I'm a go-getter, and I'm authentically genuine. person in all that I do. I'm very intentional and purposeful. I always pray that every day, like, God, let my day be purposeful, intentional, and strategic. Showing up for me in the population that I work in, I hear the term pull up your bootstraps. But with me, it's coming in barefoot. To remind them, to let them know, I come with no shoes. I'm not running. You're not scaring me off. You're not kicking me to the curb, and if you do, I'm going to show back up. And showing up barefoot is showing transparency. I'm open. I'm to your level.
Right.
I'm here. I'm not a therapist here, and you're the. We're here, and we've all experienced darkness. And your darkness, for you, when it's dark, it's dark. You can't say, "Well, I see." No, if it's dark, it's dark.
Right.
We all experienced pain. Because you lost a mom or you lost a friend, it's still pain. You lost a mom and lost a job, it's still pain. Because you got to think about, I got to pay a bill. I got to think about, I'm motherless or I'm fatherless. So showing up barefoot and let them know that, look, I am no better than you, and you're no better than me. And so even if you tell me you want me to die, you wish I died, or you tell me to get out, I'm going to always show up barefoot to let you know that I'm not running and you're not running me off. And so in the population I work with, aging out kids in foster care and human trafficking, it is a very taxing, ongoing cycle. I mean, in this population, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry where it's crazy. It's crazy. It's horrible. I see kids every single day be placed in an emergency landing home, and we're teaching them the skills. We're giving them therapy, which we think they need. But they're like, how you gonna tell me
What
they're gonna do?
that I made $500 or $1,000 a day?
Correct.
And you telling me now I gotta work for 2 weeks and get paid? Where they do that at?
Exactly.
I need some money right now.
Oh, wow.
I need to pay my bills now, and you're trying to teach these skills for them to go right back again. And when they show up and say, "Man, I know I'm tired. I get tired, and such and such did this," I show up barefoot because I'm not gonna say I told you so. I'm not gonna say, "Child, I'm gonna show up barefoot to let you know I'm still here." And however long it takes to teach you these skills, that's what we're gonna do. So imagine hearing that every single day. Imagine seeing that every single day. When you think they got here, you made them reach here, and they're like, they're right back again, because that's all they know. And that's all they see, and that's all they've learned from 12 on 16, 17 years old. And I mean, they start really young. And it's just a disheartening thing. So for me, that's how I show up. And when I do show up barefoot, I'm intentional, I'm purposeful, I come in with love, I come in with patience, and it goes a long way. I never come in being frustrated, and my expectations for them isn't high, because when I go in expecting them to get it or to learn or to understand, then I get disappointed. But I go in understanding, like, I don't expect them to get it. I don't expect her to understand working 2 weeks and then getting paid. I don't expect her to understand, you sleeping around with 5 different men or 10 men just to make $1,000 a day, right? Because I'm like, how you make $1,000 a day? And the stories, and they transparent. So if somebody making $100 a pop, and I say, so what do? I just take a little break, call the next, and then go. So imagine a life like that, and you're telling them, no, don't do that, because they had to survive. You're in foster care at 6 months. Your mama don't need you. Your mama couldn't care for you. Either strung on drugs, mental health. Your daddy you don't know where your daddy at, locked up in jail. You don't have family members. In fact, your family members is coaching and grooming you
grooming you at 7 years old.
To survive. You better go out there and make that money, because you got to pay these bills if you want to stay here.
Right.
So if you're conditioned that way, I'm now coming in with my bootstraps and all that stuff. I have all my degrees and I went to school. They don't want to hear that. They can't relate to that. So when I come in, I don't come in with all that stuff I got for my master's, because that don't mean nothing at all. I don't come in with my credentials or my certifications or license or whatever. I come in barefoot and say, okay, tell me what's going on, and I keep it a buck.
So I keep it a buck. All right, so we're gonna wrap up, and I got 2 questions. I'm gonna ask y'all to keep the answers short. Hearing how we show up for the young people, how do we show up for the women who are caring for them? What does that look like? Because you've got women who are homeless. You have women that's doing the same thing, that's introducing their kids to the life, right? You got women who lost everything because they were not the breadwinner, right? And now they've had to become said breadwinner. How do we show up for that black woman? Out of love. Because remember, we talking about black women, black love. And part of us showing up, part of us loving is how do we show up? We talked about how much hurt when people don't show up for us. How do we show up and support this sister who may be going through something that hasn't even told us what they're going through, but you can clearly see, and I can give you an example. That happened about an hour ago. One of the people that was supposed to sit here with us tonight, I just walked through the door. She was standing here. I walked through the door, and in her hello, she was bawling. Bawling. And I said, is everything okay? And she went into some personal things with her mom that's in her, and I said, don't. She said, but I wanted to be here for you. I said, no, ma'am. No, ma'am.
That's right.
I need you to be where it's most important, and that's with your mom. She's like, are you sure? I said, you want me to escort you out the building? I surely did. Escorted her out the building. At that moment, that's how I had to show up for her. Yeah, I would have loved to have her here, brand new mom. You know, she's working in this space. Yes, she would have added to the conversation, but I knew that I needed to show up for her because she needed someone in that moment to stand in the gap. Don't worry about me. I got some powerful women that can continue the conversation. You need to be where you need. How do we show up for other black women? Because part of what we often hear is we're not supportive. We're crabs in the bucket. If you ain't get it, I got it. If I didn't get it, you can't get it either. How do we show up for one another? Because ultimately, what we're seeing in our girls, because we talk a lot about the boys, what we're seeing in our girls are behaviors that should concern all of us. Because these are the people who carry life. So if they in turn are not okay, we got a problem, y'all. We got a big problem. So I guess my question, and this will be the question before I wrap up, how do we show up for a sister? It may be a parent that's not feeling well, because y'all know exactly how I feel to not show up when someone doesn't show up. So how do we tell someone else, you are not alone? More than just words, right? What does that look like? Because we're all not going to do the same thing. How do we show up for a mom? Y'all, we got a whole lot of grandmoms raising these kids out here that are lost in the system. Not because they don't have the love to give, they got the love, but then you're dealing with all these other things that these grandparents ain't never have to deal with.
You have to know your tribe. Like, I believe that circles of women I always talk about, it's so important that we stick together and know your tribe, know what their needs are. So for me, I am the single girlfriend out of all my girlfriends that have kids. There might be a time that I'm at work and my schedule is flexible. Hey, can you go pick up so-and-so for me from school? Okay, cool. Hey, can I just stay at your place? I just need the woosah. You have to know whoever that is and see what it is they need. Is it something simple as asking, what do you need and how can I help? If it's somebody that's, hey, I need financial, okay, well, how can we pull together to help you? I don't have this right now, but here's what I have. What else can we do for you? You need some groceries, you need this, you need that. Whatever it is that sister might need, be there. And love her, love on her, and never judge. I feel like sometimes, we like you mentioned, we forget where we come from. We forget what our struggles were. And I really believe that God has put us in this place to be able to pour back and give back when it's necessary. And that's what we're here for.
I think standing in the gap. Just filling in the gap. Showing up for them the way Christ will show up for us. Despite it all. Like, we show up and we messed up, but he don't treat us as sin deserve. Right? He don't treat us as though, right? So I think if we look at others and our black sisters and, she's single and she's struggling, you stand in the gap. If you know the need, you stand in the gap and you fill in.
Meet them where they're at.
Let me go to the school. Come on. Let me ring her around her neck and and straighten her out, or if she need clothes or we're standing in the gap. And that's when we know our purpose. That's what we're here on earth to do. You know what I'm saying?
I think for me, especially in the field that I'm at, it's sometimes difficult. I can meet them where they're at. I can be a listening ear. My issue can be the resources. Because I remember one time we had a parent boo-hoo crying, I don't know where I'm gonna go, literally, and I ended up texting Shirley from 7 a.m., I think, to like 11. We called everybody. A North Miami police officer gave her a card. All of the numbers were disconnected. homeless hotline, full. Project Upstart, full. Like nobody was answering, and I'm just like, and it got to a point where officers came because the caseworker, I guess, got wind, came and took the kids. She boohoo crying, about to pass. Like it was just, and my thing is, it's like the resources, and you see what they spend money on. You be like, this is gaga that they like, and I think that's what I think that's where it's at. So I think for me, all I can do, and I literally just prayed. She was like, "Thank you so much," and I ran down to the to downtown, grabbed her a little bit of resources that we offered. But it's still sometimes never enough. So sometimes all I can do is just meet them where they're at. And I'd be like, I don't know if you're a believer or not. I can stand in the gap. I can pray for you or whatever. And it's just like, I think that's where my frustration is in the field that I'm at.
And I think that's a valid frustration. How do you show up? Because I know you dealing with kids, their parents. How do you show up for a mom or an aunt, somebody who's providing for a child?
So one, I wanted to co-sign on like that standing in the gap. I do think that that's very important, and I think for myself, I don't think about it often enough. I think secondly is grace. I think just extending grace goes a very long way. What you did today, somebody did that to me when I thought I was letting that person down, and them responding like that gave me a huge, huge sign of relief. But one of the other things that I'm gonna say that I think we often overlook is keep it what you know to yourself. I have to be honest, like I think like that's one of the problems we have. Like why my business all over somebody else's mouth? You feel me? If you wanna show up for somebody, let them know that they can speak to you. And I hear that, facts. And the thing, I've noticed, like, I hear that. Like somebody will come and be like, I'm going to papale, and then just spill, right? And they know, like, unless, I don't know, somebody's on the other side, it died. You feel me? Like that'll be the end of it. And I think like whether it is parents, whether it's family, whether it's clients, whether it's community members, I think we really need to learn how to keep our mouth shut. Like if they ain't ask you to share their business, like keep your mouth shut. Yeah.
Well said. How do you show up? And one more question and we're out.
So the barefoot thing, I actually used it a couple of days ago in class. I took my shoes off and I was like, see, I walk barefoot. This is what most people in our communities deal with. We have no bootstraps. And I even went as far to share things with my students, and I said, I walk in the room naked. Meaning, I share, no.
I'm gonna need you to say that because I don't know nobody on the other end.
I want to go to her class.
I want to go to her class. Who that teacher is?
Like a rough scratch.
Who that is? My social worker. Both their eyebrows went up.
Not physically, but in the sense that transparency, where I'm not going to hold back, and I'm going to find a place to connect with you authentically, and luckily or unluckily for me, I have enough backstories to share that I find a connection with you.
Yeah.
And in that process, the barriers come down. They then feel that they can share, and then the resources. There was a point in time where I didn't have the resources, but now I make it my business to consistently collect resources because they're always needed, but there's so few. And then even be able to tap into people that I know that are in positions who have extra resources, who don't always know the proper thing to do with their money. And let them know, listen, these organizations, my organization,
What
needs
at?
some help.
Let me get some.
But I'm sorry, I'm sorry, but it just dawned, like, just hearing that this kid was taken away, at that moment, in my head, a lot of times these resources do fail us.
That's true.
Man, I would have called up my troops. Can we get up some money to put this lady in a motel?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
That's what I
in
was
moments
getting at.
like that, we have to be, and not to say for anything, I think in moments like that, we have to be very proactive.
And resourceful.
Dang, and resourceful for
Resourceful,
ourselves.
correct,
To know that, God, allow me to always be
Once more,
the
a strong
giver.
black woman.
And not the borrower, but the lender. You know, the lender, right?
Yeah.
Lender, not the borrower.
So it's kind of like, this lady got 4 kids. It's 11 o'clock. We're going to put you in the motel. Look, we're going to put you in a
Gonna
safe
figure this out
motel.
tomorrow.
Right.
We'll figure it out tomorrow, or we can do 3 days. We're going to figure it out while we continue to call. So I think being proactive, and that's one of the ways where we show up for those, because then it's like we failed her. It's like they got failed again, yet again in the system, yet again by these people that's supposed to help me, yet again, and it's kind of like, it's just always wanting to be an example of God at all times.
So this conversation can go on forever.
Yes.
Because of the body of work we do, which is why if you ever attend any event that U-Turn does, you will hear the voices of these women on different panels. We're very intentional about that. Yeah. So people that are like, oh, I've seen some of them before, that's intentional because we know we're always deliberate about whose voices we're elevating for the purpose of the work. So I want to end with each of you all. If you had, there is a woman on the other end who has either been where you're at, is an example of something we talked about. Either someone didn't show up for them, a family member let them down, everybody and their mama want them to carry it, the resources failed them, their child is currently in the life, all the stuff we've talked about. Somebody's been in my house to help interrupt, and clearly that, as we walk away and we are attempting to interrupt the school to prison pipeline, I want y'all to understand the pipeline often starts at home.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is a part that we don't talk about.
Yep.
That pipeline starts at home. So when the home fails you and the system fails you,
Yeah.
that's when the first bridge of the pipeline begins.
Right.
I would like for each of y'all, very short, either one word, one sentence, to empower. Because Women's History Month, we can talk about all the glass ceilings we've broken. We can talk about all the titles we wear, all the degrees we have, all the great stuff. But it's the women who are hurting who need to hear us the most.
Yeah.
So as we close, I challenge each and every one of you to empower another woman on the other end who said, my God, somebody hurt me. I took something away from this. So I'll just call whoever wants to go first, but we need to do it, and we need to do it fast because they're looking at me crazy.
Let me do this
Go.
right quick then. So I'm gonna look at this camera right here. I think one of the things that I want to make sure I'm very intentional about saying now and moving forward is that you will not be silenced. So whether it is somebody who's hurting and trying to figure out how to say the right thing because they told you in this space, I got to find the right words, you will not be silenced. Whether it is because you are at home and you can't find somebody to actually listen to you because they're too busy telling you what to do, you will not be silenced. Whether it's somebody who has taken on position and they've decided to dictate your role to you, you will not be silenced. And I think that's what I would say. And I want to say it very strongly, very clearly. It doesn't mean that you're not going to make stupid mistakes. It doesn't mean that sometimes you're not going to speak when you shouldn't speak.
Exactly.
But if I want to give me one more second,
Por favor.
you will not be silenced.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I would like
Por
to
favor.
say, I would like to say, you are not alone, and you are enough. And know that when you are in the room, you belong there,
Yes.
and you're there for a reason. So you're not alone, and you are enough.
So they kind of both touched on what I was going to say. We believe you.
Wow.
That's a
We
deep one.
Yes.
we accept you. We embrace, well, I said it wrong, but we believe you, we embrace you, we accept you, and we will take you where you need to go if we come together, right?
Yeah.
Value your voice and voice your value.
Go ahead, Lakeisha.
Don't look at where you currently are now. Envision yourself in the future. Everything that you are going through is just for you to build your character, to make it through, because your story is not for you, it's for someone else. So you're going through just so that someone after you, you can speak a word into their life and you can tell them how you made it over. Don't look at yourself in your current situation, look at your future self. Don't give up.
I think my one word would be boundaries. I think younger me and to now, I think when you know authentically who you are and set boundaries on, I won't let this make me or break me. I know who I am and whose I am. I think that's something that you could take from when you're little to when you're older, and I think it's just knowing your boundaries.
My gosh, it's not much to follow, but I will say my takeaway will be love you, see you, and validate you. The good you, the bad you, the mistaken you, the torn down you, the vulnerable you, and the strong you. Because there isn't going to be another you. You were created, you were intended, you were purposefully made. And you can never forget that you were wonderfully made for a reason and a season such as this. So I stand here today in awe of these ladies. And I take each and every rose that is before us as a way to compliment you for what you have done, for what you give, for what you continue to give. But for every rose that's in this room as well, we honor you. Women's History Month doesn't matter just to those of us who have the titles and those of us who are in these spaces, because your name should actually be spoken in rooms before you ever even walked in. And it actually is happening. You just got to believe it. So because you were so strong, and because you're going to keep fighting, and because you're going to rise above, and because you're going to be intentional, deliberate, and purposeful.
Come on now.
I encourage you to continue to be impactful. We celebrate you this Women's History Month. I celebrate y'all. And I encourage
We celebrate you.
Thank
Here's your rose.
I encourage, thank you, boo. I encourage each and every one of you all to love hard. Love hard based on your definition, not our definition. Because you have to teach people how to love you in every space. So this day, I declare and I command that you adjust that crown.
Come on now.
Walk with your head high.
Come on now.
Pop your shoulder back and say, I am more than enough. We love you, we honor you, and we hope to see you at the next one. Y'all have a good one.
Thank y'all, ladies. That was wonderful. Thank you. For y'all move.